we're going to take a photo of a landscape here and we're going to paint it only using 5 values. That's right, we're going to pre-mix 5 values on the grayscale just using ivory black and titanium white, and we're going to simplify this scene into these big flat shapes of value. Now, in order to make this a little bit easier, I'm going to put the photo into black and white and put it in Photoshop and use a cutout filter that will automatically organize it into 5 values. Now, the end goal is at some point to be able to take just the color photo and do the simple 5 value black and white simple shape painting straight from that color photo. But I feel like doing this with the black and white and the cutout filter, it's just going to be a good stepping stone to get to that point. Now, the second part of the exercise is going to be actually painting the full-blown color version of this painting using what we've done in the black and white exercise to help us organize and simplify these values. All right, before we jump in, if you're new to the channel, then welcome to Paint Coach. My name is Chris Fornatero, and I help thousands of students every month get better at oil painting through my online courses, which I have ones on everything from the basics, drawing, landscapes, and portraits. I also have my Patreon page, which has hundreds of tutorials where you can practice what you've learned in the courses and be a part of a positive painting community with the Paint Coach private Facebook group, which has, I think it has over 1,000 members now. And actually what I'm talking about in this video, the full exercises of everything, are going to be on my Patreon page in the next few weeks. So if you want to check that out, the links to all those are in the description of this video. All right, so if you're wondering, like, Chris, exactly why is this exercise important? I'm going to explain that. If you've seen any of my tutorials or videos, you've probably seen me do something like this, where when I first block in a painting, I block it in with just flat shapes of color. But it's also very important to get the values right. And I get a lot of people saying, like, Chris, you know, when I look at this photo, I see different colors, greens here, different greens here. I see all this stuff. Like, how do you simplify it and get it to this? That's what this exercise is going to help you with. It's going to help you retrain how you look at a scene and how you think about it. So let's start by just breaking it down into black and white. That's what I've done here. I've broken it down to black and white. And just from doing this, you're going to get so much information. One of the main things I think that people can learn from doing this is look at the light sides of the trees. Look how dark they are. They're probably like the second darkest value. A lot of times when I see people put the highlights in trees, they make them way too bright. So just looking at the photo reference in black and white is going to help you. It's just going to help you see the relationship of values, how the sand and the shadow here, it's definitely darker than the sand and the light, but it's lighter than the grass and the shadow. So you wouldn't want this green to be the same value as the sand and the shadow, even though they are both in shadow. So what I did was I took the photo and I just went up to the filter here, filter gallery. It's going to look kind of weird because it's already there. And I went to the cutout. There's cutout. And then I played with, you know, the number of levels I set to 5. And then you can play with the edge simplicity, how, you know, detailed you want the edges and stuff like that. So if you want to do it on your own in Photoshop, you can do that. And this is what I got. Now, most of the time, you're not going to be able to just copy this exactly because I still want to change some things for composition's sake. Now, I don't have time to get into full-blown lesson on composition, but if you want that, I actually have a free composition coaching guide where I explain composition and how I do sketches and figure out the composition before I start painting. If you want to check that out, there's a link to it in the description of this video. But here, I pretty much like everything. I don't know about this dark grass here. I feel like it's just weighting the left side of the canvas too much. Like we have dark, we got dark, 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 a lot of dark. I would like to have like a little bit of it kind of in here and kind of maybe some spots drifting us and carrying us here to our focal point, which will be here. Speaking of focal point, I do like that. I mean, you got like a father and a son like fishing. He's got like a little white hat and pull, like, gotta put that in. But I also like, you see like that little bit of sand being lit up. I like that. So I'm going to put that in there. And then, you know, you don't have to do this, you know, I'm not going to actually have the people in the exercise flat value shapes exercise. I'll put it in the final painting, you'll see, but just to kind of show you here how it makes like a good focal point, because you have these brightest brights surrounded by all these darkest darks. And also kind of the major lines of the scene bring us there. Got these, all right there. I actually like this shape here. It didn't really come out in the cutout filter. I would still do that when it comes time to painting because that makes like one more line, you know, coming to the focal point there. But coming back to this grass, I said I'm going to probably just keep it this value right here. It's just a little too much in the foreground for me. Like I want people to be able to get through the painting and come in to get to that focal point. But I might put some dark, because when you get down towards the bottom of the grasses, you get areas kind of like that. And I can kind of choreograph them here and there. And now this kind of helps lead you and kind of drips you to that focal point there. Now, I talk a lot about composition balance. I'm going to kind of just go real quick into, I call it dynamic balance. I have these 4 quadrants for a reason, when it'll help you draw it in, but also I try and make things be dynamically interesting, meaning if you have like a scale, got a big triangle and another big triangle, that's balance, that's boring. You want this to be like a small triangle. Now there's something there, but it's smaller, it's dynamic, it's interesting. So I got like a lot of dark here, so I probably want to have like a little bit of dark here. Good amount of dark here, little amount of dark there. Just dynamic balance. Again, if you want like a full lesson on composition, my free composition coaching guide, you can get that in the description of this video. So now that I kind of know what I want to do, let's talk about painting it. And if you become a patron and go through this tutorial, you'll see me do this. I just drew out the shapes and then labeled them with the value. So I took, this is just ivory black, titanium white. This is ivory black. This is titanium white with a very, very, very little bit of black, just so it wasn't pure white. And then I proceeded to mix 3 values in between. And this in itself is a great exercise. And I recommend starting with titanium white and then adding black to it. If you do it the other way around, it's going to take a whole lot of white to lighten up colors. And so I got one more value there, a little bit lighter, a little bit lighter. It's actually pretty hard, and it takes a little bit of time to mix these up so they're even jumps in value. So I pre-mixed those up. I mapped out which values which. Now I just got to go in and paint it. And now this is a very small canvas. This is a 6 by 8 inch. I don't recommend doing this too big because you're just going to be spending a lot of time filling it in, which you're not going to really get anything out of. You kind of, you know, one of the best parts about this exercise is you can do it relatively quickly. And so here are the cliff notes for the painting. Again, just started out with it drawn and labeled, and I just started dark and worked my way light. So I got the dark shadowed side of the trees here, and then the lighter side of the trees, which is still pretty dark. And then put in these grasses, kept them all the same value. Also kind of changed up the shape a little bit, just simplified it. I'll talk about that more in like the full tutorial, like why I simplified that. And then a little bit lighter, and then the lightest is the sky and just this dirt here. You notice I didn't make the dirt here that light. I just didn't want a lot of attention down here. I felt like if I took that and made these like really bright things on the edge, kind of would stop you a little bit. But you also see that I put in these little dark spots here. And also notice that they're all different sizes. That's a thing that I feel like a lot of people do is like when they put in things like that, they'll just not think about it and just be like, and they'll all be similar in size. This one's the biggest, and then this one's a little smaller, and that's the smallest. Also got my little focal point there. I don't have the people in just yet, but it's good that even without the people, this is still acting as a good focal point. And I even had like a little fun by the end, kind of put some little brush marks here, vertical, to indicate the grasses, cut back in a little bit with the sky. You know, you can take this as far as you want. Like you could do this pretty detailed or get some smaller brush strokes. But the main thing is just to get to this and see how it's all working and see how even without color, with simple shapes, everything is working. And the goal is to be able to take the colored photo and be able to paint this from the colored photo. Now, yes, we'll have the black and white and it with a filter to kind of help us out, but I just want you to know the path to take with your practice with landscapes as you move forward on your own, be able to do this. Like I really wish I would have learned this sooner. All right, now let's jump to the full color version and I'll explain how doing this exercise is going to help you so much when you paint normal full color landscapes. And you can see right from the start, you probably see me do this a whole bunch, which is, I call this a value map. I actually map out the scene with just 3 values. And it's funny, I feel like the fewer values that you try and break your scene down into, the harder it is. I feel like trying to do it into 3 values is a lot harder than 5 values. And doing it in just 2 values, which is a no tan, you know, just dark and light, is even harder. But you see, that's what I do here. I have the tone of the canvas as my mid-tone, and then I just use thin paint for the dark, and then I wipe away for the light. And I'm keeping the shapes and everything very simple because I want to make sure that my composition and everything translates. And I started with the sky and kind of worked my way forward. And since I had the sky color and the lake is just what's the sky being reflected, I put the lake in at the same time. And now this stage here is where everything is blocked out with flat color. And this is where it shows how much time this can save you, and how if I would have done this exercise and gotten good at it 10 years ago, it would have saved me so much time of trial and error, because I feel like the painting with landscapes is like won or lost at this point. Like your ability to see a landscape and see all the craziness and all the colors and all the values, but in your mind, you have this picture first. You're like, all right, if I can just get to this, adding all these other details and everything is actually pretty easy. And a lot of times you don't even need the scene at this point, which is a lot of how plein air painting works, at least for me, is like I try and just get this down. It takes me about like 20 minutes or so in the field. And once I got that locked in, I'm like, all right, I got it. So if some clouds come overhead or the weather changes, sunlight, everything changes, shadow changes, it doesn't matter because I've locked this in. And this is really what's going to make the painting work. For the longest time, like I didn't realize that. And I thought, oh, I just need to get better details. I need to get different materials. I need to learn to paint water differently or whatever. And it's like, no, like need to get this down first. Like this is what's at the core of everything. Even if you want to paint very detailed paintings, having this base understanding of values in terms of shapes and composition is going to help you so much. So you can see, you know, by the end painting, there are details, there are like little smaller shapes. I did, you know, like kind of indicate grasses, you know, put in my little people, little more shapes in the trees and everything. But that value map from the beginning that we did the exercise is still there. And I always keep that in my mind as I am developing the painting and making sure that I'm not straying away from that. Meaning like if I get too into like painting these grasses and I'm like, ooh, like I want to put some lighter colors and values. I see those. Oh, I want to get all those in. All of a sudden, these grasses went from kind of like a mid-tone to a light value, and it's going to throw off the whole value composition that I figured out from the beginning. I hope you enjoyed this video and understand the importance of doing this exercise. It doesn't take that long. And it just helps so much. You can do it on your own with your own photos. You can do it with just pencil and paper. I mean, when I'm out in the field and trying to figure out a composition, that's what I do. I use pencil and paper, and actually I just try to do it with 3 values, dark, mid-tone, and light. But using 5 values, I feel like is a good stepping stone to that. And again, if you want to be a part of the full tutorials of these 2 tutorials, the exercise and the full painting, they're going to be on my Patreon page, depending on when you're watching this video. And like when you're done, you'll be able to share your work in the Facebook group with a whole bunch of other students that are doing the same thing. Now, if you have any questions about this, please leave those questions in the comments section. I love seeing them. I'll do my best to answer them down there or in another video. But that's it for this one. I'm Chris Fornatero, here telling you to go get painting.